Imagine buying a brand new luxury car that costs more than most houses in some places. The interior looks futuristic, the screens are huge, the design is minimal and elegant, and everything feels like a piece of advanced technology. But after driving it for a few days, something starts to feel strange. You reach for the volume button, and it's not there. You try to adjust the air conditioning quickly, but now you have to go through 3 different menus on a touchscreen. And suddenly you realize something important. Modern luxury cars are quietly removing physical buttons. This change is happening across the entire industry. Brands like Tesla started the trend years ago by putting almost every function inside one giant touchscreen. Soon after, traditional luxury brands such as Mercedes-Benz and BMW began following the same design philosophy. Instead of dashboards filled with knobs and switches, modern interiors now look more like smartphones on wheels. At first glance, this seems like progress. A large touchscreen looks futuristic, clean, and high-tech. Car companies advertise these interiors as minimalist and digital luxury. When you sit inside the car, the cabin feels modern and advanced. But the reality of using these systems every day is very different. In older cars, drivers could adjust things instantly without even looking down. Changing the temperature, turning on the defroster, or lowering the music volume was simple because each function had its own physical button or knob. Your hand could find it automatically. But with touchscreens, that muscle memory disappears. Now, the driver often has to take their eyes off the road to find the correct menu on the screen. And this is where the real problem begins. Several automotive safety studies have shown that touchscreen controls can actually increase driver distraction. When you are driving at highway speeds, even looking away from the road for 2 seconds can mean traveling the length of a football field without seeing what's ahead. Yet modern car interfaces often require multiple taps just to perform simple tasks. Drivers are starting to notice this issue. Many owners of high-end vehicles say the technology looks impressive at first, but becomes frustrating over time. Something that used to take 1 second now takes 5 or 6 seconds, and during driving, those extra seconds matter. So why are car companies removing buttons in the first place? The answer isn't just design, it's also about cost and flexibility. Manufacturing hundreds of individual buttons and switches is expensive and complex. Each button needs wiring, testing, and assembly. But a touchscreen replaces many of those components with software. Instead of redesigning physical controls every year, companies can simply update the interface digitally. Another reason is marketing. Large screens make cars look more advanced in showrooms and advertisements. A dashboard dominated by glowing displays immediately signals modern technology. For buyers comparing vehicles, that futuristic appearance can influence decisions, even if it's not always the most practical solution. However, the industry may be starting to rethink this approach. Some manufacturers are realizing that removing too many buttons creates usability problems. Drivers want technology, but they also want convenience and safety. Because of this feedback, certain companies are slowly bringing back a few physical controls for essential functions like temperature and audio. Interestingly, what once seemed old-fashioned is suddenly becoming desirable again. Physical buttons are simple, reliable, and easy to use while driving. They provide tactile feedback that touchscreens cannot replicate. Your fingers can feel them without needing to look. This shift shows something important about modern automotive design. The goal isn't just to make cars look futuristic. The real challenge is balancing technology with usability. A car may have the most advanced software in the world, but if drivers struggle to perform basic actions while driving, the experience quickly becomes frustrating. The future of car interiors will likely combine both worlds. Large displays will continue to exist for navigation, entertainment, and advanced settings, but essential controls may return as physical buttons or smart touch-sensitive surfaces that can be used without distraction. So the next time you sit inside a brand new luxury vehicle and see a giant screen replacing nearly every control, remember that this design choice isn't just about style. It reflects a major shift in how car companies think about technology, cost, and the future of driving. And the biggest question now is whether drivers will accept a world where cars behave more like smartphones, or if the industry will discover that sometimes the simplest solution, like a physical button, was the best design all along.